YOLO, my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 82 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is Pumpkin Queen Returns, part 3? Or 300, I'm not sure which. Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they could help. With that being said, I don't have my journal up here today, so you get to miss out on the daily inspirations, or maybe if I have a pause in here somewhere, I can go run and get them and come back. In the meantime, let's go over what we're going to be doing today. Like I said, the daily inspiration might be iffy, but we're going to talk about the journey. Then we're going to do a little pumpkin and prayer. And just as a reminder, every time I make a recipe, I make it for the first time right in front of you. So any faux pas are live. Yay! All right. The other thing I want to talk about before we get started was the reason I've been absent for I don't know how long now. But my mother-in-law passed away. And then 2 days later, my dog passed away. So, kind of had a rough couple months, to say the least. So, I'm making food, because my mother-in-law loved food. But it's almost going to be hard to do a whole episode without hearing my dog's tippity-tappities on the floor. So, I'm going to say they're with us here in spirit, most definitely. Okay. So, you know me. I'm a lover of all things pumpkin. And the prayer is kind of for me and my family. And just, I want to thank everybody who's been there for us and reached out. And we're forever grateful. So, I just wanted to share that with you all. So, I'm making food because my mother-in-law loves food. And I love pumpkin pie. But baking it takes a while. And I don't always like the crust because a lot of the times that gets darker on the edges than the rest of it. So I think I've done a crustless, or at least the crust would not come up on the sides before. But today I decided I was going to make a pumpkin pie in a graham cracker crust because we made a homemade one a couple months ago, I'd say now, that I kept in my freezer. So I'm going to use that crust to make this pie. So our recipe for no bake pumpkin pie is, I'm going to put my glasses on, 2 cups pumpkin. I'm going to use 1 can, which is 15 ounces. I'm saying that's close enough. A half a cup of sugar, and that's got an asterisk. 8-ounce brick of cream cheese, softened. 2 8-ounce containers of Cool Whip or other whipped cream. 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice. I'm convinced that that would be my spice name if I were a spice girl, so that's why I put it that way. 1 teaspoon of nutmeg has an asterisk by it. 1 3.4 ounce box of instant vanilla pudding. And surprisingly, I'm like, isn't all instant pudding the same size box? It is not. The sugar-frees only come in 1 ounce boxes. The sugar-free ones, I'm saying. Okay, and then, oh gosh, I moved it and now I got a glare. I don't know what I did. Okay, so they are vanilla pudding, and I have an asterisk by that. 1 cup milk and 2 pre-made pie crust graham cracker. I have 1, and then I also have some store-bought mini ones that I'm going to fill up as well, and then anything left over, maybe I'll just use for something else. Okay. Oh, I forgot to read the instructions. It's mixed with hand blender, the cream cheese, the sugar, and the 1 8-ounce tub of the whipped topping. And then you're going to fill the bottom layer of the crust. And then the next one is mix the pudding, milk, stir until thick, Add pumpkin, pumpkin spice, nutmeg, cinnamon, stir until well blended. Place on the top of the bottom layer that you just did, and then the last layer is another layer of whipped cream. Alright, so the asterisks for the sugar, I'm not using regular sugar, I'm using coconut palm sugar. The cream cheese is light. I am using spray whipped cream, which I'm going to show you hopefully how to measure it. And mine is maple vanilla flavor. And then 1 tablespoon of cinnamon is correct. And the 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie, which is supposed to be pumpkin pie spice, but I don't use pumpkin pie spice. I use the ingredients from the Libby's. So it's, oh golly, what is it? 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ginger, and a half a teaspoon of clove. And I asterisked the nutmeg because I don't like nutmeg, so I didn't put any in there. Okay. So, first things first, we have to blend our cream cheese, our sugar, which is in here, and 1 8 ounces of our whipped topping. So, basically what they say is, where's all my measuring cups? Okay. Alright, give me a minute. Alright, had a small emergency, couldn't find my measuring cups, and I was going to show you how to measure this. So I dumped the half a cup of sugar in there. And so basically they told you in order to measure ready whip is to squeeze to the amount that you need and then tap it down and do it again until you get the amount you want. And I'm using a maple vanilla from a lovely store called Aldi. It is, you know, I've mentioned her quite a few, like she's an actual person, but these whipped creams are amazing. So. Alright. I filled it to 2 cups because I feel like once I tap it down, I want to tap it down over here so it doesn't make a lot of noise. Alright. Well, it's pretty thick whipped cream too, so maybe I'll just do the initial amount and then taste it. But you know what? Also, my sugar that oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it. The coconut palm sugar isn't as sweet as regular sugar, so probably need to add a little bit of whipped cream. But it's pretty decently packed in there, so that's good. It's gonna be delicious. And then they want you to blend this with a hand blender. And I thought I would try this new one I got. Maybe. Okay. Now we're going to just get this all blended up. It doesn't make a lot of noise as I thought, but I only have 2 outlets over there, so I can't. So essentially we're making like a cheesecake on the bottom, I feel like, you know, between that and then the next layer is the pudding. Oh, and then the replacement for the vanilla pudding is I have a pumpkin pudding and a cheesecake pudding that total out to the a little more than 3.4. So, and I'll explain that when I go to blend those together. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to use the mixer for that part, but got it blended. I think I'm going to switch out my mixing implements here and maybe even mix the rest by hand. I gotta get this cleaned off first though. Okay. I almost want to switch to my whisk because I want to fluff it up again, kind of, you know? Feels like it needs it. Okay, come on. I am making the biggest mess right now. Okay, get this off of here. Yes, I'm using my fingers. They're the best instruments in the kitchen, I've heard people say. I'll taste it. I actually need more whipped cream anyway, so. Oh, but that maple is coming through, so that's nice. You could always substitute maple syrup as your sugar as well. I mean, it is pretty tasty though. I do say so myself. You know, I love pumpkin pie, but it is a process, you know. It is not always a fun time, I'm gonna say. Alright, let me see about popping this out. Oh yeah, I got a lot in there yet. I don't lose it all. Yeah, that's a lot of cream cheese is in there still. This might be my new go-to recipe, right? Thanksgiving pumpkin pie. Alright, let me get my whisk. And I'll be back with you in a second. Alright, so I'm gonna give this the old whiskey here and see where we're at. Ooh! Let's maybe turn the speed down a little bit. I forgot how we turned it down. I don't know if this is enough to make 2 pies, to be honest. I don't know. And my pie crust is pretty thick, so this is gonna fill up the whole bottom. Trying to just kind of whisk out some of the lumpies from the cream cheese. Sorry, that sounds so annoying. Okay, let me taste. Definitely gonna add more of this. Nice little layer in there. Again, we're dealing with 15 calories per 2 tablespoons as opposed to adding more sugar. I don't know. Flavored whipped cream always seems like more of the obvious choice. Don't ask for this yet. It's my first time using this. I got this from cousin Jocelyn in Colorado. Thank you, Jocelyn. I love it. Working great. Alright. Whoop! That was a mistake. I just flipped that across the room. Mighty powerful, that's for sure. Alright, so this is gonna go. Here's our finished product. It's kind of hard to really tell. And here's our pie crust that we made. And we're gonna put this in the bottom. Looks like really light peanut butter. Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna have a lot of leftover, but let me see if this is supposed to be a light layer. I don't know. Probably should be spreading it with my what's my doodles? My offset spatula. Yeah, because I'm kind of pulling it up a little bit too. I do think we're going to need the whole thing. That's just my opinion. But I do have the minis, so maybe I do want to save a little bit and make a couple mini ones just so we can try it out. So, and I need the extra, you know, room because I have 2 more layers to add. Now her pie finished up. I don't know where in relationship to the top of her crust. I didn't really pay attention. Let's see if we can get it spread out. I wanted to make something nice and easy today. Didn't want to think too much, you know? I'm torn. I'm debating on whether I want to maybe even add that to the top. Okay, so the next layer is the can of pumpkin. Sorry, I don't know why I feel like my camera turned on me. Which I am going to clean this off for. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh, kind of brown sugary. Went down some maple in the back. Actuality, you could add a layer of whipped cream on top of here too. I'm gonna think about that one for a minute. Okay, so this is our 2 cups minus 1 ounce. 15 ounces of a pumpkin, basically. Oh, I wasn't supposed to put that first. Gosh darn it. I was supposed to mix the pudding with the milk. I like to jump the gun, I don't know why. So, talking about the journey means talking about, you know, this crazy thing we call life. The journey, and me realizing, like, man, I don't remember so many things about, like, the memories I have in my head, but I remember the memory. Like, say, for example, I know we went to a certain place, but I don't know how we got there, or, so that's just kind of like just a random example. Or I can remember a memory but have no clue what year, what time of year sometimes. You know, that kind of stuff. That's fun stuff you try to remember in your childhood. Not childhood necessarily, but even adulthood, young adulthood sometimes. I feel like I can't remember. So now I gotta find another bowl. Bear with me 1 more minute. Sorry, guys. So now, frankly, I would honestly say I wish I would have started this kind of journaling a bit earlier in my life. And of course, there have been moments, and there's notebooks all over this place with, you know, my writings in them. They'll probably sound like a bunch of mush or something. But anyway, I digress. Back to the pumpkin pie. So, I didn't have vanilla pudding. Kind of blocking here. And so I had pumpkin spice pudding, instant pudding that I got at Walmart. It was on clearance for 75 cents. And this one is 2.9 ounces, 9.7 to be exact. And then I have my trusty rusty cheesecake pudding, and that is 1 ounce. So together I have 3.97 ounces, which is a little bit more than they call for, but so we might need an extra splash of milk. We'll see how this goes. So basically we're making this pudding. Ooh, it's green. Smells good though. I wish I would have seen more of these back when I, or wish I bought more of these when I found them. That smells really nice. So I picked cheesecake because, you know, I love anything cheesecake. So we're kind of turning our pumpkin pie into some semblance of a cheesecake, I guess. Omitting, you know, anything that you would need to cook, including the crust. Although if you did want to change it to a regular pie crust, you could do so by pre-baking. Alright, so that's our puddings. And then we add our milk. Everybody makes fun of the way I say milk. I say milk. I know it's milk. Milk. But that seems like annoying. Yeah, I know. What can I tell you? Okay. Stir till thickened, I think it says. This is such an unusual color for pudding. It's off-putting. Sorry. I had to go there. So, I mean, this is also a good recipe for people that might be allergic to, I don't know. I really don't know. Eggs. Essentially. Okay, so we're getting a nice, interesting layer here. Thickened up. Okay. Kind of looks like dark peanut butter now. Okay, and then to this, I'm going to add, I gotta mix it into, or add the pumpkin, so I'm gonna actually put this in here. I think it'll be easier. You can see the pudding setting up already. Oh my goodness, it got so thick. Okay, come on, work with me here. It's supposed to be a short episode. It smells really good though. I hope they have it again. I'll have to go check Walmart. Oh, speaking of which, it's also in an active shooting situation on Saturday with my kids. People ran into the Walmart yelling there was an active shooter, or there's a shooter, but they didn't say where. We thought they were inside, so I'm making a mad dash for the back. And he was outside. They apprehended him without incident. The last time I read, the guy is in stable condition, but was shot right by my car. So, you know, I pray for those people. But Tolly, it's a scary situation. Yeah. But mom mode is real. Just so you know. Alright, so then we're also supposed to add our pumpkin spice. And so I did not use nutmeg. I just did the tablespoon of cinnamon and the 2 teaspoons of the pumpkin pie mix, which I told you I use. I make my own technically, but I use the recipe of the Libby's because that's my favorite pumpkin pie recipe. So even if I'm not buying the pumpkin pie or the pumpkin from the Libby's brand, I'm definitely sorry, got focused there. I'm definitely at least using the measurements of, why am I off camera today? Wow, that's a lot of cinnamon. We might add that whipped cream to this layer too, I'm thinking. Just to lighten it up. Look at how dark it is. It almost looks like a brownie. You can't really tell from there, can you? You know what? Just realized I didn't have the light on. Not that that helps. Alright. So let me add a little bit of the maple whipped cream in here too. Why not? Right? Now would I say this is healthy? Probably not. But would I say it's healthier than some pumpkin pies? For sure. Absolutely. So I kind of substitute, since I had a little bit of extra pudding compared to the recipe, I just basically used that whipped cream as the addition to my milk, if that makes any sense. Plus I think it'll lighten up the filling a little bit, you know? Or the next layer, if you will. Not just in color, but in texture, because it was getting a little think of the word I want to use.
Too gelatinized?
Yeah, that would be the word I'd use. Smells awesome. Okay. I don't know. I think Jell-O should carry a pumpkin spice Jell-O pudding. Maybe they do. I don't know about it. That doesn't seem possible. I am the pumpkin queen. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Don't worry, I have backups. I buy in bulk. I learned my lesson. Essentially, I love them all the flavors they've had so far, so I'm not going to risk. I gotta be stocked up till the next holiday event, you know? I need to come up with year-round flavors, you know, because I enjoy whipped cream in my coffee. Alright, I'm gonna go get my offset spatula just because this one's a lot thicker to spread. Okay. Alright, back to the journey. So needless to say, life has been, I wonder if I should have refrigerated that. Seems like this is gonna be hard to spread, you know? Life has been quite a journey lately, and writing these things down has been pretty helpful. I would say really helpful. It helps process stuff. You know, it helps you grieve and also rejoice in like your relationships with those people, with the people, the beings. I don't know, it just seems essential more than ever to be present and acknowledge what's happening in the moment, and realizing you only get one shot at that moment. So hence why this show even exists. Live it to the best of your ability, live it hard, live it strong, live it passionately, because you only get one shot at it. Oh, this smells so good. I'm trying to spread it without like mushing it. Maybe it's supposed to be mushed into the other layer a little bit. I don't know. Mine's way more pretty though. I don't remember seeing. I remember seeing a cut picture of hers, but I don't remember seeing like the pie completely set up and everything. But write down things you're thinking, because even the stuff I'm finding now that I've been cleaning out my house is I look at and I go, really? Huh. Don't remember feeling like that, you know? So it's very helpful. And it helps bring back great memories, some not so great. I mean, it happens. We all have. Nobody's ever had the perfect life that I know of. And if you have, oh my goodness gracious, be so appreciative. It means everything, you know? Okay, I think I need a little bit more. I'm trying to save some for some of the littler ones so we can sample. We gotta let this set for an hour, guys. Are we gonna be able to do that? I don't know. Gotta get the pudding to set, right? Okay, I'm trying to get this to come out a little bit more. I think. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I don't have that much left on this. Let me spread a little bit more of this on here. Oh my goodness. Now they also have pumpkin spice whipped cream, but with the pumpkin pudding, spice pudding, and the pumpkin, and just the, you know, I just thought it would be too much. But if you're serving it, you could definitely alternate, you know? Maybe you want to decorate with both. Or just use plain. That's always good too. Like the original recipe called for Cool Whip. I don't buy Cool Whip. It's perfectly fine. I don't mind it. And they have lighter versions, so that's always nice. Okay. I'm trying to measure it out over here to see how it would come out if I use too much, you know, because I want to start putting the whipped cream on the top. Nice thing about it being in a can is you can decorate pretty. Let's see, it's definitely higher on some sides than others, so put a little bit there. I think a little bit there. Just spread it around. Made a very narrow spot for myself here. All right. That cinnamon that I bought is so potent. I really need it to balance this whole thing out, because I think that's why my pie is so dark. Don't worry, there's more.
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
I almost wish I would have put more in the actual pumpkin part. More pumpkin, I mean. So let's finish decorating. Wow. Alright, there she is. I'm gonna put her in the, I was gonna say in the oven. I'm gonna put her in the old fridge. Let her set up. And we'll see how we did. But to talk about this journey some more. It's important. I really, really, really think it's important. Yeah, I definitely don't think that should have been a tablespoon of cinnamon either. At least not my cinnamon. For whatever reason, this cinnamon is very, very weird. But I don't know. This is my main message, that this journal has done for me what I couldn't do just by talking to another person. Because you talk to another person, that conversation happens, and then that conversation is over. And regardless of whether I am jotting the conversation down or the actual memory down, are two completely different things. And frankly, I'd rather remember the actual situation than me having to talk to another person about it. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just feel like in life there's so many ways to interpret things. Yes, it helps to talk to other people. Don't get me wrong. It's so helpful and it's well needed. But I also feel like if you don't have that conversation with yourself, you're only kind of realizing what's on the surface. Does that make sense? If you don't talk within your own, thoughts and kind of own up to yourself what really is what it is, then it is never going to be resolved. Okay? Does that make sense? You can always change the situation from where it is at the time, but if you don't own up to your part of it, then you're only going to work so much of it to get it resolved. Does that make sense? I don't ever want you to leave a situation be, because it can always be improved from where it is. How's that? That's the best I got. I can't think of any way. I still don't think I'm phrasing it correctly. But to have that conversation with yourself is the place to start. How's that? If you're not willing to admit to yourself that you needed to talk to someone else, or at least own up to your portion of something, maybe that person can help you figure that path out. That could be the other way to go. So whatever your way to get to where you need to go is. But let me just say, writing it down and reading it back years later has definitely changed perspectives for me. I think I inhaled too much cinnamon. Okay, does that make any sense? I hope so. I hope it helps other people realize that it kind of starts with you and how you want to do things. But if you want to be better and do better, it's your portion of things that will start that process. It may be writing it out, it'll just come out itself. A lot of times I'm finding things that just flow right out of the pencil. You know, I'm looking at the pencil like it's got a problem. And really it's just every thought that I needed to have with myself to help make this journey a little bit more rememberable. Yes, memorable, but I want to remember and focus on positive things so much more than I have in the past. So, I hope that helps some of you guys. But I wanted to get these last little bits of the pie done, and I wanted to show you these little pie crusts I got. Again, from Aldi. You can make little baby ones. Oh, they are really baby. Maybe I have enough to... Whoops. Oh, that doesn't have a... to fill these. So I think I need... I thought I had a spoon out. But I just must have grabbed the other. Whoa! They were so... That one had not been very yummy, guys, I'm gonna say. So I think just plop in a bit of this in here. Right? Let's see how many I get. Whoa! Yeah. I mean it off the counter. It almost has a coffee flavor to it. Because of the palm sugar. Definitely have enough for all of them. Sweet. Come back in a little bit. And we'll try them. It won't be as good as my homemade pie crust, but But maybe I better check and make sure I can have these. I'm pretty sure I checked. Yeah, wheat, boy. Got a cool recipe on the back too. Okay, so let's pop that in there. So I'm gonna put 2 of these. I'm gonna have to take some of the others. No kidding. If I had just saved a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna take that out. No, it's really full. That out. And that out. There we go. Yeah, works about right. Ha 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 ha. Okay. I'm gonna clean up my messes here. Alright. And then we did I do it again? Oh, that's like no. I don't know if I have enough of this either, so we'll see how this plays out. So cinnamony. So ridiculously cinnamony. I almost want to take it all out and mix it with more whipped cream. Unbelievable. I really don't think it should have been a tablespoon. That's my thing, but I also know my cinnamon is weirdly powdery, for lack of a better word. I think my cream cheese layer got a little too soft to spread. Oh no! They're marbleized, the small ones. Maybe that's what I need. Okay. And again. And with that, we finished another episode. I'll be back in a little bit to taste test one for you. Fingers crossed. Hey guys, we're back and I'm gonna give it a taste test. Keep your fingers crossed. I still think it should have me add too much cinnamon. So, I don't know. I'm a little weary. Okay. It's pretty decent. So, There's what it looks like. I think.
And you see?
It's actually pretty tasty. I was worried. I added more whipped cream on the top though. And I think all crust will be even better. Because it's homemade and it has the cinnamon toast cereal in it. Yeah. This passes mustard. I think you'll be fine with this. Yep. Delicious. Alright guys, well that's about it for today. The only thing I have left to say is have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching.